大家好，我是 Chris。有位善良的网友提醒我 ，X Foundations 教程更新了，所以特意录了这条影片。这次录的影片左下角可以看到当时的按键操作。在之后的游戏教学影片呢，大概都会以这种格式录制。影片分两部分，前一段是简单介绍常用和重要的功能，后段是直接跑一遍教学。在影片下方有各个主题的时间点，方便大家看。如果喜欢，请点赞和订阅。有建议或感想，请留言。说明一下游戏画面中间的两条能量值，一条白，一条蓝。白色是飞船生命值，蓝色是飞船护盾和加速的能量值。按 Tab 键加速需要消耗护盾能量，因为加速和护盾共用同一条能量值，所以在战斗的时候需要注意一下。尽量不要在战斗的时候点开喷射加速。当你穿上太空服的时候，进入一些比较狭窄的通道，除了一般按 X 键前进，可能需要用到的是 Tab 键喷射加速。点一下开，再点一下关，注意开关的时间，长开飞远，短开飞短。点下 Backspace 键。系统会自动帮你停下来，对着要停靠太空站点右键，请求停靠，跟着指示灯到达安排的停靠位置降落。Shift 加 X 匹配速度，在空战的时候，我个人感觉是蛮实用的。它会自动帮你调到跟对方的速度一样，你可以专心射击。即便在巡航模式中，也可以匹配到对方的速度。如果你的飞船比对方慢，可能会无法追上。如果你觉得以上的操作还是太麻烦的话，我会建议你像我一样，请一个 AI 船长帮忙开船。我们就站在旁边，查地图、接任务、找贸易、管船队、找遗迹、建工厂之类。除了大规模的战斗需要亲自操作之外，有一种进入了人工智能时代的感觉。以上就是教程里面我觉得还蛮重要的重点。之后接下来就是我跟着游戏教程玩一遍的视频。
Tired of waiting for shuttle? Hi, I'm Jace Winger, your flight instructor for today. Yes? Right, please move your head as far up or down as you can. Okay, now please walk a few steps. Okay, now do a few jumping jacks, please. Finally, a few squats, please. Right. Yes? We'll start by using the transporter room outside to go to the docking bay. From here, you need to embark and take the controls.
Quasar, Vang.
You are cleared for undocking. Proceed. Use the steering controls to turn your ship. controls to move sideways or vertically. Okay, before we continue, make sure there's no obstacle right in front of you. I can't check from here, so I have to trust you on this one. When you're clear, gently accelerate forwards. There's usually a speed limit inside docking areas, but you don't have to worry about exceeding it. The ship's computer will limit the speed for you. You can also fly backwards. Try this now. Your ship sensors are all well and good, but sometimes it can be useful to get a more direct look at things. First, look around your cockpit. There are many different kinds, but ship cockpits often provide a wide field of view outside your ship. You can also look at your ship from the outside with the magic of camera drones. Try it. Fly around a bit. You can even tell a camera drone to stay in a fixed location. Try this now. The controls here behave a little differently. Play around with them now. Return to cockpit view to move on. If you'd like to see what's in front of you with fewer instructions, you can even make the cockpit practically invisible to you. Is there anything camera drones can't do? Try it now. So let's practice what you've learned so far. I've prepared a little course for you. Please fly close to each of the navigation beacons in turn. Next target will always be marked in orange. Your ship also has a boost function. Boosting drains your shield, so use it wisely. You may also notice that it has set your speed to maximum. This is normal and will only persist until you change speed again. Some pilots even find it a convenient way to set their speed to maximum. Not bad. This next thing is something you are going to be using a lot. I've marked a remote location for you to fly to. Don't worry, I don't expect you to crawl there at your base speed. First, please align your ship so it points roughly towards the target. Now, activate travel mode. Depending on your... Now that you've gathered some speed, you'll notice that steering has become much harder. This is why it's best to point your ship towards your destination before engaging travel mode. Now, turn off the mode the same way you turned it off. You are now coasting, which means a few things. First, your ship is decelerating much more slowly than it normally would. Second, steering is easy again. Give it a try now. Third, you've probably noticed that your ship keeps flying in the same direction. You can come to a stop much more quickly by actively decelerating. This automatically re-engages the safety limits on steering. Try it now. As for the travel direction, any strafe movement will revert that to the behavior you're used to. You can also drop out of travel mode more quickly, skipping the coasting phase. Let's try this now. Please reactivate travel mode. Whenever you're ready, quickly drop out of travel mode. Great. The next part will take place some distance from here, so let's take a break and let the autopilot do the hard work for now. Good, you arrived. There's a ship next to you. Its color on your HUD indicates that it's not hostile. Please select it as your target. Match speed with your target. By the way, matching speed is even possible when both you and your target are in travel mode. I've now activated your primary weapon. The small dots that have just appeared indicate where the weapons are currently aiming. They will automatically track your current target as long as it's close enough. There are a handful of targets in front of you. Their HUD color indicates that they are enemies. Note that the HUD markers of some targets are smaller. These targets are currently outside your weapon range. Select the closest enemy target. A new HUD element has appeared right in the center of the target. This is the aim ahead indicator. It shows you where you need to aim, which is especially useful if the target is moving. Slowly cycle through all the targets.
Cargo.
When a target outside your weapon range has been selected, you can see the weapon indicators becoming darkened. The aim ahead indicator also changes its appearance. Select the closest enemy target again and shoot at it until it's destroyed. Keep destroying the targets. You'll need to move closer in order to hit some of them. If you look to the right of the crosshair, you will see bars next to your weapons that gradually fill up when you are firing. This is heat. It automatically dissipates when you stop firing. This happens more slowly if there are multiple weapons moving down at the same time.
Cargo drone.
This target is much sturdier than the others. Look at the blue bar above the target. This is its shield strength. After a few seconds without damage, it will begin to recharge. All shields work like this, including your own. I've now activated your secondary weapon, the missile launcher. It's loaded with a type of guided missile that requires a target lock. Please select the target in front of you. You can now see a lock being acquired. You may fire when ready. The target has dropped something. Fly right at it to pick it up. It's another type of missile that has been automatically added to your ammunition storage. Missile launchers have limited ammunition. You can see the number of remaining missiles to the left of your crosshair. Let's go into more detail about your weapons. Open the ship menu. We'll focus on the highlighted weapon configuration section. Each installed weapon has its own row. The squares in each row show you which weapon groups that weapon is part of. You can assign any weapon to any weapon group. You can also change the ammunition that's loaded into your missile launchers. Try it if you like. Close the menu to move on. You can quickly cycle through your configured weapon groups. Please activate each primary group at least once. You can also cycle through the available ammunition for any active missile launcher here. Try this now. It takes a little time for the new missile type to be loaded into the launcher. This concludes the weapons tutorial. There's a capital ship nearby. Please approach it.
Unknown ship. Autopilot engaged. Disengaged.
Get as close as possible to the surface. Alright, now come to a stop. flying relative to the ship thanks to special flight assistance software. This works for most things that are bigger than medium-sized ships. No matter what the capital ship does, you will move along with it. This is especially useful for combat as well for docking or undocking. I've set up some targets on the ship's surface. Please destroy them. Try to use the ship's surface as cover if possible. The straight thrusters are useful here.
Requesting immediate backup.
Fly away from the ship's surface until it leaves you. Fly to the next objective. You may use travel mode or the autopilot if you like.
Autopilot engaged.
Something inside it. The ship will not fit, so you're going to have to get out of your ship and do a spacewalk. Move a little closer to the indicated position and park your ship there.
Autopilot disengaged.
Please get up and leave the ship in your spacesuit.
Quasar Vanguard.
You've probably noticed that you keep moving in the same direction. That's because spacesuits don't have flight assistance and are limited to Newtonian flight. Any directional input, whether it's strafing, accelerating or decelerating, will push you in that direction. I'll let you try it out for a little while. While you do that, your spacesuit is equipped with a small hand laser. Please don't try to use it in fights with actual ships. You'd be pulverized immediately. You also have a repair tool. This tool works on most damaged objects, as long as they're not actually wrecked. This thing is beyond repair, though. Much better. I think you're ready for some maneuvering. Please find the side of the wreck using the indicated entry point. There's an access hatch, but it's malfunctioning. Look for a broken control panel and use your repair tool to fix it. Now, fly into the corridor. You may have noticed the oxygen indicator, which is slowly going down. There's no need to worry about it. You will be back in your ship with plenty of time to spare. There's another broken control panel. Repair this one as well. There's a lockbox here. What a lucky find. Please activate the weapon and carefully shoot off all the locks. Ship weapons also work, but you have to be much more careful, right? Lockboxes are fragile, and so is life. Congratulations, you did it. You may keep the item for yourself after you finish here. Please leave the wreck and return to your ship now. The spacesuit is also equipped with a booster. You can use it now to reach your ship more quickly. Be careful though, it's easy to overshoot and crash into your target that way. Ah, you know how to do that already. Now, follow the red lights to the dock and fly inside. your spacesuit is fresh in your mind, let's try the same with your ship. Please turn off flight assistance now. I'll give you time to play around with it. Re-enable flight assistance when you want to move on to the next step. The next part is technically against the rules, so you didn't hear it from me. We'll combine two of the things you've learned, aimed at empty space, and activate travel mode. Build up some speed. Now, turn off flight assist. Your speed is no longer increasing. More importantly, though, your ship is very maneuverable again. It takes a practice, but you can use this for significant course corrections during travel mode. Try this now by aligning to the new objective, then re-enabling flight assistance. I find it really fun to drift my way into jump gates at high speed that way, but do be careful and practice in a safe environment first. I don't want to hear about you turning your ship into a pancake, right? Right. Now that the exciting part is over, let's wind down with something a bit calmer. Fly to the marked station.
Argon Wharf.
Follow the trail of lights to your assigned dock. Now that you're in range, you can interact with it to request docking permission, just like you did with your ship from the spacesuit. You should now be able to see an abstract representation of the docking bay and your position relative to it. Each element must be aligned before you can dock. When aligned, the elements change colour from red to green. Now that your ship is fully aligned, and let go of the steering controls. There's a triangulate element pointing upwards that represents your ship's position over the dock. If it's darkened, then your ship is outside the display again. I usually align my orientation first. Begin by moving the centre of the crosshair to the matching element in the docking UI. If you can afford them, there are software upgrades that make this process a bit easier. Now that you're docked, you can do a number of things right here from your ship. The ship information menu shows you all kinds of things about your ship. Take a look at it now. Below the general information, you can see your cargo storage. It's separate from the ammunition bay, and there are even more types of storage that we're not using at the moment. Small items picked up from crates or lockboxes, on the other hand, are stored on your person and moved with you between ships. You can access your inventory via the Player Information tab. You can close this menu now. You might have seen that your ship is carrying some energy cells. If you want to, you can sell these here using the trade menu. Open it now. This is where you can trade wares with the station. Your cargo is on the left-hand side and the station's buy offers are on the right. Because this is a wharf, it doesn't have any products for sale in here, but it does want to buy a lot of different resources. Energy cells, for example. Wharves and equipment docks can also upgrade your current ship. Try this now. This is where you can buy and install various upgrades for your ship, including the docking software that I mentioned earlier. Feel free to try this out now. Your upgrades are now being installed. It'll be fast now, but this can normally take up to a few minutes. Wharves and shipyards also buy used ships. The beauty you're sitting in is actually mine though, so don't even try selling it. You can keep trying out these menus if you'd like. Undock when you're ready to proceed. That many pilots don't use, but if you do end up liking it, you'll really appreciate it. Depending on how you set up your flight controls, you might only have convenient control over 2 steering axes rather than all 3. This is fine for most pilots. However, with many ship configurations, rolling is much more effective than yawing, or vice versa. This is where adaptive steering can help. When turned on, the primary steering axis will be set to whichever one is best for your current ship configuration. I've turned on adaptive steering and changed the thrust configuration of your ship to favour roll over yaw. Fly around a little to get a feeling for it. That concludes your training. Feel free to roam around and practice some of what you've learned. I've set up a selection of ships for you to try out. You can teleport between them using the map. Sorry, no capital ships. You'll have to save up for your own. When you feel ready to move on, you can either try out some of the advanced tutorials or put your skills to the test in the real world. Goodbye, and good luck out there.